Hey, cheers, y'all. Welcome back to the Fish Life Podcast. It's a lovely Sunday night in East Texas, and the entire world of East Texas bass fishing has lost its ever-loving mind. This is the greatest trophy bass fishing that we will see for a generation of anglers. We're going to tell you why tonight. We're going to explain everything that's going on in case you've been like, I don't know, asleep, under a rock, don't know where you've been. If you've missed out on what's going on in Texas, there's some significant stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about it tonight. We're also going to talk about the tournaments we're down. Big weekend professional tournament fishing. Red Crest Championship, we're going to talk about that. Bassmaster Elite Series on Tennessee River, we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about the tournaments that are coming up in the future. Y'all know who this is, man.
Look, you already know who it is. You already know who it is. Smash that bell. Turn on them post notifications. Share this. Thumbs up. Let's get some likes. Share it with your friends. Send it to your buddies. Let's go.
My boy is happy to be here tonight, apparently, y'all.
This is my second one of these, boy.
Hey, you might consider
All the sugar.
You might consider that coming in a little hot there, son.
I forgot to bring my little buzzer. My pew pew pew. You already know who it is.
Bro, speaking of tournament, did you see that Jacob Wheeler now actually legitimately has mounted a bell on his ice chest?
Is he really?
Like a front desk bell, and he weighs a fish and he hits the bell. I'm like, he doesn't just say it anymore. He actually has a bell mounted in his boat.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm mad that I didn't think of that.
that is, and then, you know, for years I think Wheeler was kind of thought of as kind of an awkward, kind of a nerdy, dorky guy.
He's a goober.
Well, I think he's actually a lot cooler than everybody. Hey, he took time to talk to us, which tells me he's got time for the little people.
And he's got good taste.
Let's not forget, this is the lowest budget that's actually live. So if he can hang out with us,
that's right.
Welcome to the L Ball, you bunch of low ballers. Let's get it tonight.
That's right.
Can't forget who we are. You know, we're the low ballers. We got the lowest budget. We got the cracked iPhone 6 with a phone charger plugged in on a rinky-dink $5 extension cord going over to the wall over there, and we're live. And it doesn't get any more low budget or any more live than that, Luke. Lucas. No, I'm just kidding. Luke Duncan. We poke fun at Luke because we love him.
But I listen to his podcast every Monday morning.
Literally the best bass fishing podcast that exists, and it's called Low Budget Live. So we pick on him a little bit because he's not live, and he's got microphones and headphones, and he's not that low budget.
At least he admits it and says not so live.
Low budget live, not so live.
Yeah.
I just want him to say low budget, not that low of a budget. Like, I want him to throw, like, you got to throw that in there too, Luke, because until you're rocking 35 cracks on an iPhone 6 and that's how you're podcasting,
that's right.
I don't know that you're really low budget.
Yeah, bro. Like, to get the energy for this podcast right here, I ate 5 hot link sandwiches.
Our little phone holder keeps sliding back on us tonight. Have you noticed that?
Uh-huh.
What's going on? Did the iPhone 6 get heavier than it used to be? What's happening here?
Do we need to...
We've got a mess.
Do we need a pause for station identification?
There is no pause. This is live. This is actually live.
Actually,
lowest budget, actually live.
Right.
We can't be pausing live.
You know what it is? It's the phone's getting blasted back by the energy.
The energy. It's just the energy in the room.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's gotta.
Yes.
You know.
Speaking of energy in the room, there's this room called Texas. It's a pretty big room.
It's a huge room.
It's a fairly big room. It has absolutely exploded.
Yeah.
With all-time trophy bass fishing energy.
Yes.
There was 2 more 15-pounders caught today. There was at least one other 12-pounder that I know of. The thing is now, 10 to 12-pounders aren't even getting mentioned anymore. Like, if you're not going into the Share Lunker program, you ain't...
Yeah. It's like
the real Share Lunker program, not like that...
Yeah.
Not like that everybody gets... No. Actually, the other one has its point and purpose, too. It's for collecting data points on big fish. It actually is helpful. You should participate in it. You should turn your fish in. But for years, we only knew 13-plus pounders as share lunkers. Then they said, okay, well, that's a share lunker legacy class.
Correct.
But we want your data from all these other fish you catch below 13, between 8 and 13, to help us understand our fisheries better. It's a good thing. It is a good thing. But we always, the guys that are old school always poke fun at it. The real share lunkers are 13 pluses.
That's right.
So, yeah.
It's, what was I going to say?
He doesn't know. Happens often with him. Way to keep the show flowing. This is actually live. You got to keep going.
No, I just went blank for a second.
No, yeah, I mean, we're not even paying attention to 10 to 12-pound fish anymore. Like, as guys who are fans of the sport, live in Texas, fans of Texas bass fishing, it has gotten so out of hand with the giant bass being caught that nobody even cares when somebody catches a 10 to 12-pounder now.
Yeah, it's like being voted second to, like, you're voted number 2 to prom queen. And like,
no, you know what it's like? It's like being Phil Mickelson from 2000 to 2005.
What? Right?
That's what it's like. Phil Mickelson was one of the greatest golfers we ever saw, but from 2000 to 2005, nobody he never won anything because Tiger was too busy winning everything. You know?
because
that's what it is.
Yeah, because a caged animal got out and just started winning everything.
Yeah, caged animal.
He's a tiger.
That could go so many different ways with everything that's happened after the fact with Tiger.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot of different directions, and I don't think we're approved for. I don't think that
fair enough.
We've got the rating approval for those topics.
That's not where I was going with that. Oh man.
I mean, how can you think of anything else other than that? Now, when you think of Tiger Woods, you know what my favorite line about that is that Ron White deal. The Ron White one.
Yeah.
It's like Tiger slept with so many girls, but he turned down 84,574. Tiger's a saint.
Yeah.
That's love. It's so funny. So funny.
I like to, obviously we're not a golf podcast, but good to see everybody wearing red today and this weekend.
Yep. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. Yep. I actually haven't paid any attention to that because I've been too busy looking at 15-pounders all week.
Yeah, dude, I was telling you before this, I got a text thread with 3 of my other buddies.
Yes.
And it goes, since last Tuesday, it goes, share lunker, share lunker, share lunker. Damn, we need to go to Ivy. Share lunker, share lunker, share lunker. Hey, have you booked the hotel room yet? Share lunker, 12-pounder. Smallmouth record. Damn, they have smallmouth too? Smallmouth record. Like,
I mean, just today, Josh Jones caught a 15-pounder out of Ivy. Josh Jones himself caught a 13-pounder, turned it into the program last week out of Ivy. Mm-hmm. This morning, he catches right off the bat a 15-pounder out of Ivy. Then, some point today, some young man, actually a junior angler, catches a 15-pounder off Lake Travis. Brand new lake record by over a pound. Shattered the junior record on Lake Travis. And another 15-pounder from another lake, across the state. We've had share lunkers turning Conroe Friday morning, Lake Conroe, the first day of the Oakley Big Bass. There was a 14-pound share lunker turned in.
14.25.
I mean, it's like every single day.
Josh Jones has caught more fish over 13 pounds than I've caught fish in 2 weeks. That's stupid.
Side note, we're about to talk more about the Giants being caught in Texas, but before we do, you told me a little something that happened to you yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's kind of embarrassing, but kind of not.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those deals. So
wait a minute, let me just ask you the right question.
Okay, ask me the right questions. Leave me.
Did you or did you not fish the tournament on Lake Tyler yesterday?
Yes, sir. 3 fish stringer jackpot.
How many fish did you catch in said tournament?
I caught 1.
You caught 1 fish in said tournament.
Yes.
1 fish.
Yeah.
What place did you come in said tournament?
Second place.
Second place. Who won Big Bass?
I did.
So okay.
Yeah.
How big was this fish?
5.16.
He catches 1 5-pounder.
Yeah.
And gets second place in Big Bass. Pretty good outing.
Yeah.
Pretty good outing for 1 bite.
Yeah.
For 1 bite.
It's the time of year for that.
And what won the tournament?
5.96, and he had 3.
You almost won the tournament on a bass.
I know.
You almost won a tournament on 1 bass.
It's wild.
Me and Zach Watts won a team tournament on 2 bass one time in the middle of winter when it was tough.
Yeah.
You were just trying to one-up me, weren't you?
I was trying.
You got real close.
I was trying.
You got real close.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
So, back to what's going on in Texas, man. Let's rein it in and talk a little serious about this because we are experiencing something truly special. This is a once-in-a-generation situation that we're going through right now. In fact, you could argue, and a lot of it has to do with the evolution of the sport and equipment, and we're going to talk about that because there's some equipment that's probably making a lot of this happen right now. But this last 7 to 9 days, whatever it's been, 10 days, most of us have never seen that in our lifetime as fishermen. Most of us have never been following fishing when this happened. The only thing that's akin to this is, some of the stuff in the 90s with Fork.
You said 90 to 95?
Yeah, and when Fork was fishing good in other lakes where, too, you would have little runs like this, and it may have happened once or twice back then.
Right.
But really the number of truly giant fish, the number of 13 to 16-pound bass that are being caught in the state of Texas right now is unparalleled outside of that one little window. So we're talking about 30 years ago, the last time something like this happened. And till that point, that was the only time it had happened was 30 years ago. And then now we're seeing it again. And this is a truly unparalleled run. And it really is a victim of a lot of perfect storm type of circumstances. We have the new lake effect that produced really, really good spawns in 2014, 15, and 16 all across the entire state. The West Texas Lake OHIV that's kicking out the majority of these right now is also experiencing another new lake effect that all the fish are getting big and healthy on right now. All-time record cold front that we've never seen. bunched those fish up into areas where they were condensed and made them more easy to catch once you got on them. Now, on top of that, if we didn't have the technology we have right now with Live Scope Active Target, the real-time forward-facing sonar stuff, I don't think these fish will be getting caught. Because all these fish that I've seen get caught are getting caught on Live Scope.
Well, and everybody that's catching these fish,
at least the Ivy ones.
Yeah, when
we've seen like Ben Milliken and them were Joe McKay, Ben's buddy, was the first one to catch one of these fish, and the 16-pounder that kicked off the Ivy deal, and we know for a fact they were using Live Scope, and you know Josh Jones is using Live Scope because that's all he does, and he's caught two. So it's like everybody, and one of the other guys, how about Steve? One of the other guys who fishes with his dad, and his dad caught a 13. They're using Live Scope.
Yeah. Yeah, because the son caught the 12.4, right? And then
Yeah.
the dad caught the 13.6
Yes.
or whatever, 13.5.
Yeah. So, I mean, all these things are lining up where you just got that huge cold front that grouped fish up and, like, got all these pre-spawn fish together, put them in the same area of the lake. Then the huge warm trend to get them activated right after that. Like, we went from 0 degrees to 80 degrees in a matter of a week, guys. 0 degrees to 80 degrees 1 week apart. Like, that's insane as far as air temps go. And that has just created this. Brandon Burks, there it is, J-Bo, thank you. Brandon Burks' dad caught one of the shearluckers, and now I know he uses Live Scope a lot. Brandon Burks does. So, insane. Just craziness, chaos. I mean, everybody needs to really kind of take inventory and take stock and just admire and enjoy what's happening around the state right now.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's not like most people are struggling to catch fish right now.
Yeah.
Because we are coming off such of an extreme weather pattern. But the guys that are on them are freaking on them because they're grouped up because of what's going on with the weather.
So, if I'm not mistaken, Fork was the only lake to do what Ivy's done as far as number of shearlunkers in a day, correct?
They have 5 in a week, 2 in a day. Fork had 3 in a day once, and Fork's had at least 7 in a week once.
Yeah.
So Ivy still hasn't caught up to all-time greatest week that Fork had in the 90s. But yeah, other than that, there's nothing else even close.
Yeah.
Like nothing else even close. And OH Ivy's had some good runs in the past, but not like this.
Well, and OH Ivy.
But Live Scope, dude.
Yeah.
2 things that are like the biggest factor, and we talked about this in the seminar that aired earlier today. 2 things that are big factors in this to me are the drought from 2010 to 2014. Then the new lake effect statewide in 14, 15, 16, and forward. The spawns that we had in 14, 15, 16, where we had so many of our fry survive. Okay? Well, now the 2014 born fish is now 7 years old. He's getting all-time giant size. And you had a higher percentage of those survive from the beginning, so you got more fish that are getting the opportunity to get to these 13, 14, 15-pound weights. So there's just more of those fish in our lakes than we've had in a long time. Yeah. And the beauty of that is we had just as good a spawn in 15, just as good a spawn in 16. So we've got 2 more years of fish like this coming at us. Then Live Scope is just still kind of in its first year or 2 of being a bass fishing.
Yeah.
I would say it's really within its first 6 months of the masses using it for bass fishing.
Yeah, I was gonna
because
say,
for so long.
Patrick Walters.
Yeah, Patrick Walters. And the Opens, and Hamner and the Opens too. But
that's what kind of sparked what it is right this second.
Yes. For the longest time, you talk to bass fishermen, they're like, the Live Scope's not really applicable for bass fishing. It's a crappie deal.
Yeah.
And so now we're just now getting into the first full year. We're just still in the first year of the life cycle of people really honing in on how to use the Live Scope effectively for bass fishing. And what we're finding is that it's really, really good for targeting bigger bass, obviously, because you can see them swimming and see how big they are and keep your bait right in front of them. And so many times we know from bed fishing, like, that's the key to the bigger fish is you just got to stay after them. Keep that bait right in their face over and over and over again until they make a mistake. And that's what people are starting to learn how to do. And, man, I think between the spawns that we had for 3 years in a row, 14 through 16, and the age of those fish, the Live Scope coming into the forefront the way it is, like, I don't think this is the end of it. No. I think we're going to see a few year run here where Texas is going to be extremely unrivaled in the trophy bass that it kicks out. Because right now, there's no place on planet Earth that's doing what it's done. And there's no place on planet Earth in the history of bass fishing that has ever done what it's done other than Texas in the 90s.
Yep.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
The deal about the amount of water in Lake Ivy, OH Ivy is going to be the key there.
Yeah,
Because it's just now, what, to 60%?
it was all the way down to 10% for a while. That is important on West Texas lakes, but if it's not Ivy, it'll be somewhere else.
Well, that's true. I know. I'm just saying, like, speaking about Ivy, Ivy's the... I mean, I know you've seen the memes. The guy walking with his girlfriend, and then another girl walking this way.
Well, let me tell you, them guys are keyed in on that deal on Ivy, on that live scope, and they're tearing it up. But let me just tell you guys this. There's like one guy that fishes Lake Fork regularly that actually uses that live scope the way it's supposed to be used for bass fishing. That's Jack York. Mm-hmm. The rest of us have fished there long enough, and we still have our old ways and our old thoughts. Yeah, some guys use the live scope a little bit here and there, but not religiously and not committed to it the way you need to be.
I've been seeing what Jack York has been doing with that live scope.
So there's going to come a time where the live scope's going to catch up to Lake Fork, and it's going to start playing there. It's going to, and then you're going to see some giant fish get caught. Hey, Rayburn's another one. Yeah. Like, dude, these 40-pound bags that Monday and them are catching, he's just cranking brush piles like they always have done. You know, when guys start zeroing in on that open water fish with the live scope on Rayburn and Toledo and all these lakes, Conroe, you know, wherever, Lake Austin, all these giant bass factories. It doesn't. If Ivy doesn't kick them out, somebody will. Amistad, you know. Alan Henry hadn't kicked one out this year, and Alan Henry usually kicks out 2 or 3 a year regardless.
Alan Henry was second to Fork in the Sherlocker list for a while.
Yeah, Alan Henry throws out a lot of 13s, and it hadn't thrown out any this year. So, I mean, as the live scope deal becomes more prevalent across all these lakes, you're going to see more and more of this.
Just thinking back to, like, when live scope first came out.
This technology... Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying most people identified as crappie fishermen. Identified as crappie fishermen.
It's 2021. They can identify how they want to.
So the crappie fishermen were the ones that are using it. But what my question is, why as bass fishermen do we not go? Well,
I thought it, and I was like, no, there is a way to apply it. The problem is it's going to take time and commitment to learn it.
Yeah.
And that's where a guy like Josh Jones was on it early, and he did a great job with it. For a guy like myself, the problem is we're not, like, fishermen are supposed to be patient, but bass fishermen are not patient at all.
Correct.
Not at all.
Correct.
I'm going out and I got to put fish in the boat for a customer. I'm going out, I'm filming a video, I got to put fish in the boat. I don't have time to spend a month, 2 months, whatever, figuring out this live scope deal. I've got to catch fish today and learn it a little bit at a time. And for that reason, I was never in a real big hurry about it. You only get to fish once a week if you're lucky.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
On average.
Yeah.
Well, when you go out, you want to catch fish.
Yeah.
You don't want to sacrifice a year of your fishing 1 day a week to become a good live scoper.
That's
you know?
True. Yeah.
And that's how it is with all new techniques. There's some guys that get on it early and commit to it, and they have a huge advantage because they're there early. Even on the professional level, on the tournament level, so many of those guys, you know, several of them have adopted it, and more are adopting it now, obviously.
Right.
But the majority of the field at Lake Fork had the same equipment that Patrick Walters had. There was like 2 other guys that were even trying to do what he was doing, and they weren't committed to it the way he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
So there's just a small percentage of guys that have got on it early, and it's just new. It's just new, and that's my whole point to what I'm saying is the live scoping techniques become more prevalent, and everybody, anglers in general, get more efficient at it and more effective at it. Mm-hmm. We are going to see more of these giant bass caught.
Yep.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's just funny to
Red Crest was one because of active target. Yeah. Everybody that fished on the last day in Red Crest was using some type of real-time forward-facing transducer.
I watched a video of Connell and Wheeler sitting down on a dock talking about they basically both brought their rods and reels out, and they were explaining what they threw and how they caught them. And Connell was saying every single fish that I caught was 100% a testament to that active target, because otherwise I would not have caught those fish.
Did you see, that's the other thing about, like, Wheeler's got some personality to him. Did you see the video he posted? So Tom Brady and Gronk did the "We Ain't Going Nowhere" video, Bad Boys. Yes. Mm-hmm. Wheeler and Connell did the same thing. Connell's behind Wheeler holding that trophy on his shoulder like a boombox. And they bopping along, walking the "We Ain't Going Nowhere" Bad Boys for Life deal.
That's funny.
Yeah, Wheeler's got a lot. He has a lot more, like, laid-back, chill, cool personality than I thought he did his first few years out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's just so locked in when you see him in the derby, in the tournament.
Yes.
He's so, like, lasered in. Ain't a whole lot of joking around when that goes on, but I think as he's grown and got more comfortable out there, you get to see a little more of his personality.
See, I started kind of noticing that in the Super Tournament last year when he caught that 10-pounder. And after that, it just seemed like he was joking around and just being real loose. I don't know.
Colton Deloach says, Billy, what's the water temp coming in 2 weeks? Hoping to catch a warmer trend. You should be catching a warmer trend. No doubt, no doubt. Here's the deal. The water temp is all over the place on Lake Fork right now. You can go find mid to low 40-degree water if you want to. Most of the main lake is in the 40s. Mm-hmm. But if you look hard enough, you can literally find 60-degree water in some corners of some pockets. And you can actually find fish on beds right now in some corners of some pockets.
I've seen some pictures floating around.
Yeah, there are fish on beds. So, what?
What?
Sometimes we get crazy comments.
Cody
Mays is he's going off the deep end on it. Cody Mays is going full tinfoil. He's going full send on tinfoil hats. Dead serious when I say Joe Biden's weather machine killed the night fish.
Cody Mays.
Oh boy.
All I saw was dead serious and Joe Biden, and then Cody Mays was the one who posted it, and I said, "Oh Lord."
Here we go. Saddle up, boys. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Oh Lord.
But we got a lot of folks in here tonight. We sure appreciate you guys joining us. Normally we say some hellos, and we kind of skipped over everybody. Simsy, I see you in here. I appreciate you. Mays, Mims, Colton Loach. We got just a Chris. You're commenting apparently.
What's up, Chris?
JC from 6 Mile Outdoors. J Nim. Awesome. Oh. Question. Here's a good question. Should professionals be allowed to use any sort of live scope? My personal opinion is yes.
You just stole the subscriber number 11254 question for tonight.
Should the pros be allowed to use any type of live scope? My question is absolutely. I mean, my answer is absolutely. I think so. The reason I say that is because it's not even a bait. Like, you're just seeing the fish. There is still a fine art to, A, keeping the live scope on the fish.
Yeah.
B, keeping your bait in the live scope. And then also, C, making that fish bite that bait while you're looking at him. It's no different than bed fishing. Like, you might as well ask me, well, should bed fishing be outlawed when you can see them on beds? No. Why not? You can see them. That's all the active target and live scope does. Just let you see them. You still got to boat, just like bed fishing, boat positioning, how quiet, how loud, how close, how far, technique, the twitch of the rod, all that still comes into play with a live scope or active target, just like it does on a bed fish. So to me, it's just no different than bed fishing. And no, you should not eliminate the ability to see and locate fish better. That's what our equipment's for. That's what those electronics are all about. Because if you're going to take away the ability of live scope to help you see and locate fish, well, then who's to say that it's fair that 2D sonar shows you fish?
Yeah.
And that's all that live scope does is show you fish, man.
Fair.
In my opinion.
It's a fair point. Them guys that used to use them paper graphs back in the day, they're just cringing right now every time they watch a bass tournament.
I wonder if Brooks Rogers even watches tournament fishing anymore. I doubt he does.
Probably not.
It probably just makes him mad.
Yeah.
Brooks is a guy on Lake Fork's been there for who God knows how many years. Been there since he was like -2 years old, I think he's been guiding.
Long time.
He's 40 years old. He's been guiding for 47 years.
Yeah. Yeah,
something like that. Anyway, Brooks is like old school fisherman, like shallow water. He fishes a lot of deep water and offshore stuff too. He's just an old school, like by the feel, by the senses, by the instincts type of guy. He like rarely even turns his graphs on. Like rarely turns his graphs. Like I've literally heard him say he wishes that they would just outlaw them, just take them away. So for him seeing everything that's going on with these electronics, he's like, man, none of these guys could keep up back in the day before we had all this. I'd have whooped every one of them.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
You think you think Clun's got a live scope?
Hmm?
You think Rick Clun has a live scope?
Yeah, he has it. He's come out and talked about it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Somebody asked, why are we sitting in sensual lighting? Because if I turn the other light on, then we'll get backlit and you won't be able to see us. Plus,
it'll look like we're welcoming you through the gates.
plus,
yeah.
You seen this guy right here?
Yeah.
He don't hardly have a hair on his body. I can tell you that. This is the most hairless armed, hairless legged man
That's right.
you'll ever meet. So
that's right.
We might need to keep the lights a little lower once in a while.
Yeah, I'm 6'4" of twisted steel and sex appeal.
Hey, there it is.
Demonetized.
one thing I did see somebody asking about the shad kill on fork. There has been some shad die, but nothing in any major significant way. Just a few here and there. Nothing major.
I haven't seen anything serious on Tyler or Palestine either. Did you see some of the pictures from the coast?
I think that, yeah.
The coast got it real bad.
Well, those fish are just so much more susceptible to that. They're not used to it. And I think the water was warm enough before this freeze started that it prevented a lot of the shad from just straight up dying in massive numbers. Let's talk about some of the tournament fishing that went on this week because, you know, everybody in Texas, for me, I kind of, be honest with you, we're going to talk about tournament fishing. I didn't watch that much of it. I was so enthralled in what was going on in the Sherlunker chase all week that I've kind of lost track of the tournaments a little bit, but I followed them enough, and there was 2 major events. We had the Red Crest. We had the Bassmaster Classic of the Bass Pro Tour.
They call it Super Bowl bass fishing. They both call it Super Bowl bass fishing.
The Bassmaster Classic's been called the Super Bowl bass fishing.
Since ever.
Let's talk about that for a second. Let's have that conversation.
Let's have it.
Let's have that conversation because, and listen, I do like Luke Duncan, and I do think that Luke Duncan has the best bass fishing podcast out there, period, in my opinion. My personal opinion, I think his is the best. There's other really good ones, but I think his is the best.
Mm-hmm.
Luke's leans very anti-Major League Fishing, and he has some personal reasons. And so I'm not here to judge him or you know, fade his opinion in any way. I can just respectfully disagree with a lot of the stuff he says when it comes to some of that stuff. I do. And Luke's been in the industry 10 times longer than I have. He's grown up in the industry, worked for TH Marine, been tournament fisherman, fished on the FLW tour. Like, Luke's been there, done that, a lot more so than I have. So I respect his opinion. At the same time, I can have my own thoughts and opinions about it, and I don't agree with everything he says, and that's okay too. But there was a big discussion between Luke and Mercer on the Super Bowl bass fish. Of course, you know where Mercer's loyalties are going to lie.
For sure.
Now, Mercer does a good job of keeping an honest perspective. I will give him credit for that, but he works for bass. He has forever. So, of course, he's going to lean towards that side of the argument. But the Bassmaster Classic has been called the Super Bowl bass fishing. Absolutely right. The Red Crest, they came out with some marketing that called it the Super Bowl of bass fishing.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're both right, and I think they're both wrong. The Bassmaster Classic has the history of the event. They have the guys that have claimed the title, right?
Mm-hmm.
Since we're talking about Super Bowl, let's talk about let's do some football analogies on this deal, okay?
Okay.
So, before the AFL and the NFL merged, you had the NFL championship and you had the AFL championship. And the NFL championship would be like the Bassmasters Classic.
Mm-hmm.
And the AFL championship, I guess, would have been kind of like the Red Crest. The problem with this situation is the AFL now has all the NFL champions on their roster. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And not until both of those things came together was it called a Super Bowl. So the Bassmaster Classic has the right to be called the Super Bowl bass fishing because of the list of champions that have won in the past, that have beat the field of hands down best anglers on planet Earth.
Correct.
Like when Kevin Van Dam won his 4th championship, he was fishing against, no doubt about it, the best field anglers on planet Earth at that time. Mm-hmm. The best. Hank Cherry is very much deserving of his Bassmaster Classic win, and he's been there, done that against the full field before the split.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not knocking Hank Cherry in any way. But that Bassmaster Classic has an asterisk on it, in my opinion, because he didn't beat everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And some of those guys are back over there now, and it's making it a little more better for me, you know, the way I perceive it. But
Mo better.
You know, and Patrick Walters is developing, and all these other young guys are. I mean, there's so many of those young guys that are good that are developing, that are becoming. But you can't win the Super Bowl if you never played the Patriots or the Chiefs or the Tampa Bay this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if they took the Kansas City Chiefs and Tampa Bay Buccaneers out of the NFL and they went and played in another league this year, well, next year's champions has no chance to even be the best team in their conference because the best team in their conference is gone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So the Bassmaster Classic can be called the Super Bowl bass fishing in past tense. The Red Crest can kind of try to say they have the Super Bowl bass fishing, in my opinion, because they have the best roster of anglers. They have certainly have a bigger resume.
For sure.
Those anglers have a 10x bigger resume than the Bassmaster guys. No arguing that. Nobody could argue that. Luke Duncan wouldn't argue that.
Right.
You know? But to me, at this point with the split, now we do not have a Super Bowl of bass fishing.
Right.
The only time, and this will take forever if it ever will happen, this would take forever. The only way for us to have a Super Bowl of bass fishing at this point is if you take the top 20 or 15 guys from BASS Elite Series, you take the top 20 or 15 guys from Bass Pro Tour, let's get it on. That's the Super Bowl of bass fishing.
I agree.
Now going forward, that's the Super Bowl of bass fishing.
Well, and it's funny that we're having this conversation because it used to be an FLW bass conversation.
It did, and FLW was always considered the lesser
minor
league.
Yeah.
For a while, FLW in the beginning kind of got up there, and then
Yeah.
bass separated itself.
Correct.
And it got to a point where anytime an angler was like, most of the time if an angler was super dominant on FLW, it was just a matter of time before he ended up on the
bass.
Elite Series.
Yep.
And that proved that it was the better field because the best ones from FLW were going over to bass and then not being nearly as dominant.
Yeah.
So that verified that it was a better field at bass. I think you could say the same thing now and argue that MLF has the better field.
It's the elite roster.
It certainly has the more proven field with a bigger resume.
Yeah, and speculation is what's pretty awesome about this sport because we can sit here and talk about it, and that's what we love to do and all that good stuff. But you never know.
Yeah, and then, like I said, I think, and I think you agree with me. I think we agree on this.
Yeah.
There is no more Super Bowl of bass fishing, really.
No.
Really. And there won't be until you get all those guys to fish against each other. And that's, if you look at it from a Super Bowl perspective, the Super Bowl only became a thing. You had the NFL championship and the AFL championship.
Mm-hmm.
A Super Bowl only started when the NFL and AFL merged and brought all those teams
Right.
to the same league. Let's fight it out and see who's better.
Do you think that will ever happen with this though?
I think it'll take forever because of all the personal vendettas and hard feelings. I think there's so many, this side feels like that side screwed him and that side feels like this side. I mean, Boyd Duckett feels like Bass screwed him over when he tried to buy Bass. And a lot of anglers feel like Bass screwed him over for years in the way the payouts were structured and the money that was made and not made.
Yeah.
That's what, the whole thing that started this was Bassmaster was screwing their anglers over financially. That's how this started, folks. Like, that's what made this snowball roll downhill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so make no mistake, that's what happened. I think Bass has taken a lot of steps under new ownership to do it better, and it seems like everybody's extremely happy to be there. Probably in major part because you got a lot of hungry guys that have never been there before that are just happy to be there.
Yeah.
Right?
Fair. Yeah.
Like, bro, if I've been fishing the Opens for 5 years and all of a sudden I get a shot at the Elite Series, I don't care what they want me to pay.
No.
I don't care how much money they're making and how little money I'm making. I'm just happy to have the opportunity to fish on that level.
That's right.
And that's how most of those guys have been for the last few years because almost all of them are new
Yeah.
to that level of fishing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Especially Brian new.
he ain't new no more.
Are they Brian new?
He won right out the gate, Jack.
Dang it.
So that's my side of the
Yeah.
Super Bowl bass fishing take. We don't have one, and we won't have one until we get the top end of both of those rosters to have an actual super tournament, and that will be the real Super Bowl bass fishing if we're ever lucky enough to see that.
I wish they would have Opens specifically designed for both fields of rosters to enter, and
we used to have this thing called the Toyota Texas Bass Classic.
Yeah, I remember.
Technically, we still do
that thing.
have it. It's Texas Fest or whatever now.
Yeah.
Same event. Ben Bassmaster owns it. But back in the day when none of the tours owned it, it was the top 15 from BASS, the top 15 from FLW, and 15 open invites.
Yep.
Personal invites to, legends or whoever they want to invite.
Right. I wish they'd do something like that now.
Bro, that was actually legitimately, it never got the publicity it deserved, but that was legitimately a real Super Bowl bass fishing.
For sure.
Because that was back when you would have Ayler on the FLW side and Scott Martin and David Dudley and all these guys would come from FLW, and then all the top guys from Bass would come, Keith Combs and Van Dam and Kelly Jordan and all these guys that were top in Bass at that time would come, and then they'd have 15 invites for the hottest anglers or the legendary anglers or whatever. Yeah. That was a Super Bowl bass fishing.
Yeah. I wonder why, and it boils down to personal vendettas for sure is why they won't do it.
Ego,
but
bro. Ego.
Do you know the freaking notoriety that would get?
There is a unbelievable amount of
ego
in this game.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, look at all the drama between Lake Fork guys, and it's all ego. And I fall victim to it as much as anybody. You know, we all have it. And it's just a culture in bass fishing. Look at the way that people look at you when you go to a ramp tournament morning. The old stink eye that you get.
Oh, yeah.
On a $50 jackpot.
Oh,
like,
tell me.
There is some ego in this sport, and it's pretty daggum ugly, really. It really is, man. There's a lot of dudes that look at you sideways just because you sign up to fish the same derby they are. Like, I think we agree on this. We're here for the same reason.
Yeah.
Hey, but don't look at me like you mad at me. Like, I think we agree on this.
I'm just trying to catch some cinder blocks like you, man.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, I don't get it. I never have understood it. It's one of my favorite sayings is, bass fishermen that fish for a living are the angriest people on earth that go to work in flip-flops.
Oh, yeah.
You think anybody else that works in flip-flops?
Elon Musk.
He's working on a beach. He's a surfer, like a surf instructor. He's doing beachside yoga. Like, that guy's not mad when he goes to work.
Yeah.
Bass fishermen are the only dudes show up in shorts and flip-flops to go to work and get mad about it.
Yeah.
We're keeping it real nice. This is a great. We're going in on some stuff tonight.
I mean, Elon Musk works in flip-flops, and he's happy as can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In case you just joined us, welcome to the lowest budget actually live.
You already know who it is.
You bunch of low ballers. The OL ball. We're getting it tonight.
So, hold on. Time out.
Hopefully the signal is not messing up too bad. I keep seeing the screen glitch a little bit. We got some bad storms rolling on top of our head right now.
Yeah.
And hopefully, if we're having signal problems, y'all let me know.
We just ain't got it ain't no snow, though. I can tell you that much.
That's right.
Hey, speaking of which, what y'all think about this new lid I got, cuz?
It's nice.
That is nice. Y'all see that?
Nice. That is nice.
Brand new, hot off the press.
They always keep them lids fresh over there at
They
the
keep
Six.
it real. When keeping it real goes right.
By the way, if you want to buy any of those fresh lids over there at the Six, go to sixcensefishing.com and punch in that code, your Lake Fork Guide. You'll get 10% discount on anything you order.
And I'm going to tell you, the second hottest thing on the 6 Cents website right now is that $6 2-day shipping. What up, boy?
Let's go. Let's go. Signal's good on y'all's end. Good. So let's talk about what happened in the actual tournaments, because we just rambled for an hour on hypothetical tournaments that's never going to happen as long as Boyd Duckett's alive.
Yeah, we just left like 4 unpatented ideas, released them out into the wild.
Well, it's never going to happen. Long as Boyd Duckett's living, it's not happening. And this podcast will long be forgotten before Boyd Duckett is.
That's not true. You already know who it is. You already know who it is. Hit that bell.
Chris is going down swinging. He ain't gonna let it rest.
No, dude, I got a little bit of ego too.
Let's go.
Hey, speaking of, you wanna hit Bassmaster first, or do you wanna hit BPT?
Let's do Bassmaster first.
Okay.
We'll do the Super Bowl second.
So before we even get too far in depth in this, did you see where my AOI finished? My AOI pick finished?
Yeah.
We're like neck and neck.
Did you see where did Cox finish on the St. John's?
Not good.
See, not good. And you know what Patrick Walters did on St. John's?
Yeah, I know what he did.
You know what he did on here?
I'm looking. Where's it?
He's up in the 20s.
Oh, is he?
I think he's 23.
23. 10 grand.
23 for Patrick Walters after a
4th place?
4th? Was it 3rd or 4th?
3rd or 4th. One of the two.
So my OI pick's looking good through the first 2 events. And you know what I said in the beginning? I said, look, if this cat gets to the first few events in good shape, y'all better watch out. You boy. Like, if it comes to scoping season, y'all in trouble, boys. I'm just telling you, because he's as good as it gets on that deal.
Yeah, so, John Cox won 30 grand out of his 10 rig, though, so come on.
Yeah, good tournament for Cox. Also, tell you something else. One of the guys that, to me, this guy seems like he has as much fire in his belly. He's so happy. He just came back from the MLF. We're talking about Jason Christie.
Mm-hmm.
To me, Jason Christie with a Y still has not caught a fish to this day. But Christie IE caught a few this weekend. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Christie IE, Jason Christie seems like he has a serious,
bone to pick.
Yes. Like, he's fired up. He's got something to prove.
Almost like a personal vendetta.
And his first event at St. John's, he came out and he bombed.
Yeah.
And you just knew there was no way that would last 2 tournaments in a row with him, especially with his mentality he's going into this year with. But not only that, this tournament was, if there's a cold water, dirty water event going on, y'all just pick Christie.
Yeah.
It's something about that dude growing up around Grand and all that. Like, if the water's cold and dirty,
yeah,
He's going to be there.
Watch what I do.
He's going to be there. Like, he's going to be in contention.
Did you see how mad he was?
I know, dude.
I've never seen him mad.
Bro, he's like getting after it this year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He is not. He is mad at him, dude.
Dude, he's finished some, not so good tournaments before, and, he'll give interviews after the deal, and he's, hey, yeah, we just didn't work out for us. He's just real even kill about it. But after St. John's, he was pissed. Like,
and another guy that's back this year that has a way more laid-back approach to things.
That finished 2 spots down.
As far as what you see on the surface is laid back. Mm-hmm. But what goes on underneath is as intense as anybody who's ever played this game.
Yep.
Is Greg Hackney, and he's the real winner for the AOY lead right now. He's got to be in first, right? He finished 7th in this event. He finished 2nd last week, I think.
Did he finish 2nd?
I think he finished 2nd last week.
Yeah, he was up there. He was top 5 for sure.
Yeah.
So he top 5 and top 10. He's got to be leading.
He's got to be leading after the first 2 events. Oh, and by the way, we're going to go over there to Pickwick, and they're all going to be on the bank when we get to Pickwick.
Yeah.
There was an Alabama Bass Trail tournament on Pickwick, and there was like 5 or 6 bags over 25 pounds. And all those fish are fixing to get ready to move up on the bank when them boys get there here in a couple weeks. So you're going to give Hackney a shallow water river fishery with a bunch of flooded vegetation. Like, he's probably going to get another top 10. I mean, it's hard to get 3 top 10s in a row on the Bass Master Elite Series. It's just really, really hard to get 3 top 10s in a row on that tour.
Not if your name rhymes with Egg Mackney.
What? Is this what we've resorted to?
Yeah, dude.
Egg Mackney.
If your name sounds like that, you can get another top 10.
Or Jed Slapney.
Man.
We all want a night hammer.
What a time to be alive.
I don't know why this is so funny to me right now. It's just freaking cracking me up.
This is good stuff.
It's just cracking me up. Oh.
Keith Combs had a good finish.
Hey,
did you see who finished 2nd? Steve Kennedy?
yeah.
Come on, swim bait hammer.
Kennedy's the man, dude. Kennedy is a unique duck.
Oh, yeah.
He's a unique dude, and he is a lot of fun to watch because there is a lot of pure joy and love.
Oh, yeah.
After all these years, there's still so much pure joy and love every time he gets a bite,
He's like a kid, man.
Yes, he is. Hey, shout out to Justin Hamner.
Let's go.
Another new guy coming off the Opens. Finished 14th. Good for him.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Good for him. And I don't remember exactly where he was, but Scott Martin had a much better event at this one. Where was Scott Martin at? He was somewhere up 25th.
25th.
So he got him a $10,000 check this week. Lee Livesey's finished 32nd, our Lake Fork guy. He got a $10,000 check this week. That's great.
Come on.
Lee seems to struggle. Last year and this year, Lee struggles earlier in the year, and he does better at the end, it seems like.
Palaniuk struggled a little bit.
37th, yeah.
Well, for Palaniuk.
Right. Yeah. I mean, all these guys made the cut. They're on the top 40, but they all got $10,000 checks, and that's always listen. Anytime I sign up for a tournament, go home with $10,000, I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, but you're right. Those guys, they're wanting to be the best of the best. They're wanting to win, and that they're nowhere close, and that's disappointing for them. I know it is. So that was. Well, we didn't even mention the actual story of the tournament. It was just. This was probably the most boring Elite Series tournament I can remember in years.
Yeah,
I hate to say that. Like, it was kind of slow fishing. It was kind of tough fishing. It was cold water. It was muddy water. It was an ugly water to look at. It was an ugly lake to look at. It wasn't visually pleasing, aesthetically pleasing. And Gustafson just beat the brakes off everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like on a fishery where you can't catch hardly 15 pounds a day, he's got like an 8-pound lead going in the last day. Like, there's nothing to watch. Like, unless he just doesn't show up, he's going to win.
Would they say he was only the 2nd Canadian to win a...
You're right. Win an Elite Series.
Win an Elite Series?
2nd one ever.
Yeah.
One of the Johnston
brothers.
Yeah,
yep.
One of the Johnston brothers was the other one.
Is it Corey or Chris?
I don't remember which Johnston brother.
Probably Chris, obviously.
I could listen if they were both standing right here. I'd have no idea who was who.
Mm-mm.
It's the Johnston brothers.
Yeah, no.
That's all I know.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Yeah. 2nd Canadian ever to win an Elite Series event. That's awesome.
Living Missouri's Outdoors is really adamant about this because he's commented several times. He says he still feels like they stole AOY from Hackney. Yeah, no, there is an argument for that. There is an argument for that.
Listen, You're talking to two guys that are as pro Hackney as anybody you'll ever talk to.
He's literally my favorite fisherman.
Yeah.
He's my number one favorite angler, period. In the story. He is. Walters is catching up. I'm a big fan of Walters, but Hackney's my all-time favorite.
Yeah.
Dude, Hackney's like one of those guys. He's like your grandpa. Like, Hackney can look at you and you'll feel like you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, he just gives you a look and you're like, oh, God, what did I do? I didn't mean it. Whatever it was, I didn't mean it. I'm sorry.
I tried to grab the net as fast as I could, I swear.
Could you imagine back in the day when he was fishing FLW event, being Hackney's co-angler and missing one with the net or something? And he just gives you that Hackney look. He just gives you that.
And you're like, I'm sorry, Grandpapa.
He cocks that hat back and...
Yeah. Well, and he wears his hat like this.
And you're like, hold up a minute. Is this dude going to feed me to an alligator or am I going back to the boat ramp? I'm not real sure. 50-50. It's a little touch and go.
I like it whenever when he dials in a pattern on the water and he'll go, ho, 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 ho. They're in trouble now.
Yeah.
And then he'll just go.
And he gets that head cocked inside like,
yeah.
He does this little right here, the head inside, nods it down. Hey, you know what I mean? Just in there on him. Yeah.
Oh,
Hackney's
you're
great.
in trouble now.
Hackney's great, man. We
Yeah.
love Hackney around here. So that was the Elite Series event. It was cool to see some guys have good finishes. It was cool to see Patrick Walters do getting all that stuff we just talked about. Gusty, congratulations. That was a dominant victory. It was an unbelievably great performance. Unfortunately, man, it was just kind of, honestly, just being honest, it was a boring tournament. It was an ugly, slow, cold, nobody really got close to Gussie, kind of boring event.
Yeah. I was watching weigh-in today, and he needed he was the last one to weigh in and needed 6 pounds. And I was like, huh.
Like I say, unless he just didn't show up today, he was going to win.
Yeah.
But overall, all that just says is, under tough conditions, what a dominant performance by Gustafson.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, what a dominant performance by and he's been really consistently good since he showed up on the Elite Series. Dominant performance by a very, very good angler.
What's that saying? Somebody always catches him?
Yeah, he was the somebody.
Yeah.
And he was it for 4 days, and he didn't never let up, and he never let anybody even look back in the door. So, good job on him. Now let's talk about Redcrest.
Dude.
So let's talk about the Super Bowl.
Dude, so okay, I'm about to.
What Luke Duncan's low budget, not so low budget, whatever. What is it?
Yeah.
Live, not so live.
Low budget, live, not so
the
live.
Super, not so Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, this deal has been a mess, and I feel for the guys at MLF and Bass Pro.
Yeah, they got dealt a hand.
Bass Pro Tour. Boyd Duckett, don't be trying to sue me. Listen.
Yeah.
I'm just poking at y'all, man. Y'all know I love your product. I talked to Kelly Jordan last week. I love you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I adamantly say up and down, you got the best roster of bass fishermen that's ever been assembled.
Mm-hmm.
And I firmly believe that to this day. But this event, man, it started out in August, and then they moved it to early in the year, pre-spawn.
Mm-hmm.
And they did that because I think from an outsider's perspective, and I'm sure they would give us a reason, but from an outsider's perspective, it looked like they did that just to compete against the Bassmaster Classic. Because traditionally the Bassmaster Classic happens in February and March.
Yep.
Over the recent history. You go way back, it happened in different times. But...
Yep.
So now you had Edwin Evers wins the first Redcrest at the end of that season in August or September, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like a year and a half before we have one.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it was at Grand, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
COVID caused them to have to move it to Lake Palestine.
Weather.
God caused them to have to move it from Palestine to Eufaula, like at the very last minute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had 1 day of practice.
They got dealt a really, really, really tough hand, and I feel really bad. But between all of that, and let's be real, we were all dealing with a lot of stuff. For us here in Texas, we were all dealing with a lot of stuff coming out of
Snowvid.
the freeze. Snowvid. You know, we were trying to get groceries for our kids, and we were trying to figure out when we were going to work and when we weren't. And our lives have all been kind of turned upside down for the last couple of weeks because of this. So not only did this event get moved 2 times and once in the very last minute, not only did it have the extra delay because of the time of year schedule change, but on top of that, we had this dramatic event that caused us to be a little distracted. So if I'm just being honest with you, when it was supposed to come to Lake Palestine before all this snow and ice crap hit, when it was coming to Lake Palestine, I was fired up about the daggum Redcrest, dude. I was going to watch every second of it. I was going to go down there, drive my boat around the lake, and watch some of those guys and do coverage on it. Like, I was fired up. Then the snow happened. Then I still don't have a boat, dude. I fish for a living. I don't have a boat because my brackets and stuff for mounting on my electronics haven't made it here because they got rerouted in the freeze. And they still haven't got here. So I'm still waiting on a boat. Like, it's just things like that are happening in people's lives. I'm not the only one. And I kind of missed out on a lot of this tournament. You know, I would get the summary, the highlights at the end of the day. But as far as sitting down and pasting myself the live coverage or checking in, I really didn't. I just kind of got the gist and the cliff notes of it. Now, I know LiveScope was a huge player. I know Brian Thrift had a great event.
It was the deal.
Brian Thrift had a great event, and LiveScope was a huge player in this event. And Connell even said that he won it because of Active Target. But Connell says that, but did he really win it because of Active Target? Because everybody else was using it too. Like, and here's the other thing. And when this format first came out, I was a really big fan of the resetting of the weights every day. You know what I mean? I felt like, well, that's a truer test because the guy has to be consistent every single day to win the event. Like, and I still, looking at it from a bigger picture perspective, a truer test of an angler, I still believe that. It's a better test to have a guy be consistent every day than have a guy jump out to such a big lead like Gussie, where he could have just barely showed up the last day. I think it's like, Dustin Connell had a much more difficult final day than Gustafson did. Can't argue that. Much more challenging. But
he also he lost like a 3-pounder, which would have been the dagger, within like 2 minutes of the thing ending.
Yeah, and what happens is, like Brian Thrift, first day was the guy. By the time the end of the tournament comes, Connell's the champion, and you kind of forget Brian Thrift even did what he did. And this happened at Fork. You know, like everybody remembers the Mark Davis day because he caught all them fish in that little ditch or whatever. Mark Daniels, at the Fork tournament last year. But Ott Defoe won it.
Yeah.
And people do remember that Ott Defoe won it because he won it in such a fine fashion with that giant school of fish he caught. But there's a lot of these Red Crest events where I'm having a hard time remembering who won and who did what throughout the tournament because of the weights resetting.
It's confusing.
There's a little more confusing, and I do think that it is a better test of the anglers.
Yeah.
But I think it's a much worse way to tell the story.
Correct.
Does that make sense?
No, I agree.
You understand what I'm saying there? Like, it just makes the storytelling of the entire event much more difficult for them. And at the end of the day, whether we're making a YouTube video on my channel or we're watching whatever we're watching, it's all about storytelling. All of our entertainment that we consume, whether it's sports or anything else, the reason sports is so successful is because it's real, oftentimes physically dramatic stories laid out in front of you. You're following the storyline of Tom Brady leaving Belichick, trying to prove his own worth at another place. You know what I mean? Like, you're following the story of Patrick Mahomes trying to become the next greatest of all time quarterback. Like,
so to sum up what you're trying to say, it's tougher to follow the tournament.
It's tougher to follow the stories.
Yeah.
It makes the storytelling much more difficult.
You're having to flip pages constantly, trying to, if you're keeping track. Let's say you were looking at Dustin Connell, Michael Neal, Mark Davis, and Anthony Gagliardi. Well, you've got to flip 60-something pages.
And you don't even know who did what.
Exactly. Yeah.
All you know, though, is, I would say this, in their defense, what you do know is that they were really consistent, and they had to catch them every day to stay in the event.
Yeah.
And they're there on the last day, and now we're going to see whoever has the best day wins.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that is a better test as far as the resetting of the weights every day.
Yeah.
I do think it is better. And somebody just made a comment about MLF is not a better test of the angler. LOL. Well, I appreciate your opinion on that. I totally disagree with you. I also think now that we have a 2-pound minimum and 1-pounders don't count, I think MLF is a better test of the angler because I think if a guy can catch 37 keepers, he probably was more dialed in and a better fisherman that day than the guy that caught 8 keepers but caught 2 big ones.
Yeah. The way that
Kelly Jordan explained it to us.
KJ explained it, like, okay, a guy catches 25 pounds, but he gets 6 bites all day. One of them just happened to be lucky. But some other guy catches 24-pounders. Who caught him better?
But in a 5-fish stringer tournament, the guy with the 6-pounder wins.
Yeah, exactly.
But in every fish counts tournament, the guy with 20 fish blows him away and dominates like he did. And he did dominate that guy that day.
Correct.
He absolutely did dominate that guy that day. If you're watching him live, you're like, this dude's on him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Oh, look at that big net caught. That's a great fish. But this dude's on him.
He just didn't, quote, get that lucky bite.
Yep.
Which, let's be honest.
Now, there's something to targeting bigger fish.
There is.
There's an art to that.
But, nonetheless.
Overall, and these guys are all so good. Overall, at that level especially, the guy that catches the most total weight has had the best day.
Well, okay, and I'll even put it in a different perspective. The guy that won that little 3-fish jackpot that we fished last weekend,
Yeah.
he caught 3 fish. I caught 1. I got lucky. He was on better than I was.
Yeah. No doubt.
I caught the stupidest fish in the lake.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean, it just... You know, the funny thing about it is that whoever was commented and said it's not the true test of the anglers. Well, the knock on it used to be that all they do is catch little ones, they target little ones. Bro, did you see how many one-somethings got counted on the Tennessee River?
Yeah.
There was a lot of 1 pound something that was playing on the Tennessee River that was going to the scales.
Hey, go look at the average fish on Eufaula.
And they couldn't even... You can't even count any of those on MLF.
Mm-hmm. So I'll tell you this much right now. There was a lot of guys that in the Red Crest that weren't catching but maybe 5 fish a day. And a lot of them had a 15-pound average. A lot of them.
Jordan Lee, on the first day, was like, I think I'm going to get about 6 bites today.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to have about 25, 30 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what
Let's
I'm
go.
saying. Like,
Let's go.
They're not just catching little ones.
Yeah. No, they're not.
So...
It kind of seemed random. DC wasn't really on the radar, and boom, Shadow Bass, and that's exactly right. Because from a storytelling standpoint, if you're the guy telling the story of the tournament, you're the host. You're the guy. You're Marty Stone, and I don't even know that nerdy dude's name that's supposed to be like Tommy Sanders. I don't know what his name is, but you're that team. You're JT Kenny. You're that team.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to tell a story about Dustin Connell for 4 days or for the first 2 or 3 days when he's halfway down the field?
Yeah.
Like, you have no idea that he's going to be the guy that ends up at the... And that's what I say. The resetting of the weights every day makes the storytelling extremely challenging. But if they would have covered Dustin Connell the first 3 days, be like, Connell, hey, did he win this round? No, but hey, he stuck in there. He caught some solid fish on day 1, caught some solid fish on day 2. He made the cut. Here we go in the final day, and Connell is the one that wins it. And then if that story's being told, they've just got to get better at adapting their coverage to tell that story. On that final day, they've got to have a story for every one of those 10 guys and work that into their coverage on the final day, and I think that changes everything. But it's a brand new product. It's a brand new format. They'll get better over time, hopefully. I think they will. But they should.
So let me back you up. So one thing I will say is I think you're going to see, once this thing finally gets aired for television, I think there's a lot more behind-the-scenes stuff. But as far as watching the live coverage, it's exactly what you're saying. It's hard to follow. But I think once they take all their film and everything, I
think there's ways they can do it on live coverage to make it better.
For sure.
I think they can get better at telling the story on live coverage as they go along.
Well, for sure, because
and they should, and they better.
The guys that are like us that are gonna watch it live, you know what I mean? We're not gonna wait for it to pop up.
There's a lot of people watching these things live now.
Yeah, and so to your testament, yes, it needs to get better to where like you can follow the story as it happens.
Yeah, it does. They just, especially on that final day, once all the cuts are done and all the cards are on the table on that last day, they need to have a story for each one of those 10 guys. That's not that many guys. Yeah. They need to have the highlights and the story of those 10 guys, and they need to put that on every single person in the beginning of the coverage. Yep. And now we understand how good Connell fished those first 3 days to get to the last day, how good Thrift dominated the first day and got there. And like, you got the story for everybody if they do that.
Treat it more like one of your cup events.
They just got to get better at telling the story.
Yep. They
got to. With that format, they're gonna have to overdo the storytelling. It's easy in a traditional tournament like Elite Series runs where the weights add up because you kind of see it develop as the days go on. You can tell those stories a lot easier because you know who's building. Like, they knew Gussie was going to win today.
Yeah.
They could focus on the Gussie story and tell all the details of it.
Yep.
They knew.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. I don't know. They didn't catch a lot of fish. Like, there was not a lot of fish caught at all.
Can we talk about this for a second? Regardless of your opinion of MLF, Bass Pro Tour, or regardless of your opinion of Elite Series, or Super, not so Super Bowl, or whatever, regardless of your opinion on all that, Connell just won $300,000 at the fishing tournament.
Come on, biggin.
that dude's got 300,000 reasons to think that was the Super Bowl bass fishing, Jack.
That's right.
That's a lot of money for a fishing tournament, dude.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is you know how many guys win $300,000 in a year of fishing ever? Like, not very many. Like, not a lot.
Do you know how many people make $300,000 a year? Not a lot.
Not a lot.
This dude did it fishing in one tournament, one event.
Oh,
it's awesome.
Cam Cam says less 190-second commercials. I just switch off. Don't have time for that. Should be like 60 at most. Would you be happy if it was 60-second commercials and they happen more often? Would you be happy with that? Because they've got to get the advertising time in there. Like somebody, it's like 10 Cup. If the drive, somebody's got to pay for this fiasco. Mm-hmm. If we're stealing enough free shit, we might pay for this fiasco, Romeo.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to pay for this event. Somebody's got to pay for these satellite trucks and all this crap, these cameras for live coverage. Like somebody's got to pay for it. So they've got to run the ad. Like I'm not mad at them for running the ads. They have to. But you'd rather see more and shorter.
Give me a ball.
Give me a ball.
Ball.
Ball? Oh, yeah. Ball.
Ball. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny.
Ding. LOL. I can't believe that
funny.
sucker mounted it. He mounted like a front desk bell. He mounted it on his cooler lid in his boat.
That's so funny.
He goes up to it and goes, ding.
Well, because, so I watched, like I said, I watched the last couple hours of Red Crest.
Yeah.
And after Connell had his emotional, like he was, I mean, as anybody would be.
He won $300,000
Yeah,
fishing?
for sure.
Against, by the way, the best field on earth.
Yeah, hands down. Not even close.
And his boy Wheeler finished third. So that was really cool.
But he kind of dries up for a minute and just goes, ding.
He did the ding.
Oh, yeah. Him, Mark Daniels, Adrian Avena, they all do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of cool, though. That's
How good is Jacob Wheeler?
Jacob Wheeler's pretty awesome.
He finished third in this event. How consistently good is Jacob Wheeler?
Well, I was talking on the phone with Cameron the other day while it was going on, and I'm giving him updates. And he said, "Where's Jacob Wheeler at?" And he was like, within 2 or 3 fish. And he said, "Boy, they better not let him hang around because you know what'll happen then." I said, "I know. Dude's good."
Yeah. Amos Fox says, "Say Billy, coming to Fork on the 12th. Make sure to update the Fish Life app." Funny you say that, because as soon as I cut off the live stream, we're going to work on app updates tonight. So they will be updated. They're about to get updated tonight.
Ask and you shall receive.
Cedar Creek Freak, I love it. He says, "I'd rather watch your Lake Fork guy boat flipping 8-pounders than MLF any day." There's this thing going around out there that certain people may have started the boat flips only deal. And listen, certain people may have started saying boat flips only at a certain point in time. But then there were certain other people that actually were boat flipping 8-pounders before other people on camera. I'm just saying. We've been boat flipping 8-pounders on camera around here for a hot minute.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Like day one.
Hey, Cedar Creek Freak, how'd y'all do in Champs, by the way? I know it was tough on everybody.
Fork? Yeah, it was a tough deal.
I talked to him the night before the tournament. How many zeros happened in Champs?
They got that throwback deal now. It's always hard to tell with Champs how many real zeros there were, because they've got this thing called a throwback bonus. It's like fish care thing.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're not going to compete, you're not going to have a chance to get a check, if you throw your fish back, if you get 0, then you get entered into a drawing to win some money. So they're incentivizing guys that know they're not going to get a check to actually release their fish and not weigh in.
Not terrible.
So that's the program.
Yeah.
Just so they don't haul fish around the lake. Yeah. And at Fork, as tough as it was, I don't think anybody threw keepers back because they probably all thought they had a chance. Yeah. And if they didn't, they should have thought that. Because I think like 4 pounds got a check.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I know. I saw Ozio. He got him some money.
He sure did. David got a check this weekend. He sure did. Him and Curtis. Boat flip Billy. That's funny.
That is funny. You want to hit some subscriber
questions? Yeah, we got some subscriber questions from our random...
Our secret... he said not good. Yeah. It wasn't real good for a lot of people, man. Don't feel bad.
We got our top secret subscriber ID numbers that they get awarded when they ask a good question.
That's right. So, subscriber 34918, what brand of braid do you use?
Power Pro.
Always.
Just the regular old Power Pro.
Fluoro.
Cigar Red Label for me. But if you don't fish that often, you want to spend the money and get... Actually, my favorite fluorocarbon is Berkeley, the 100% fluorocarbon from Berkeley. Mm-hmm. But it's a lot more expensive. And Red Label's just as tough, if not tougher. Red Label's extremely tough. Yeah. But it does have a little bit more memory issues, especially on the heavier pound test. But I use it every day, so the memory is not really an issue for me.
So it's funny you say that. I was looking for 25 for an A-rig, and they didn't have any red label, so I got some of that Invisex.
Yeah.
Dude, that stuff's strong, and it's thinner in diameter.
Yeah, it's good. Invisex is good. I really, really like that Berkeley fluorocarbon. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's really, like, as far as castability and memory and all that, it's probably the best one out there.
I've always been a Seaguar red label myself.
It's just really dependable. Great knot strength, great toughness, really, really powerful one.
All right, subscriber number 42196. Will live scope get banned at pro level ever?
Not banned, possibly limited. Maybe limit the number of screens, something like that.
Maybe total inches.
I could total see. I don't think that'll be limited. I think they'll limit the number of screens. I think
Maybe
that.
say
I
three?
think. I think that's 3, 4 total screens. I don't know. It'd probably be 4. 4 total screens on the boat. Because guys like to run 2 at the console, 2 up front.
Yeah.
And then there's some guys that run 3 up front, and I mean it's just getting crazy. But I think that they might limit the number of screens. They'll never ban it.
Some of these boats look like floating solar panels, dude.
And they shouldn't. They shouldn't ban it. It just shows you fish. It doesn't catch them.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's go to subscriber 11254. How do you locate shell beds?
Huh.
There's a video for that.
We actually just did a video Monday. All you got to do is search up Your Lake Fork Guide, How to Locate Shell Beds, and that video from Monday will pop up. It's a 30-minute video of me talking through map study and everything else. There's no way I can tell you nearly as good on this live stream
Right.
how to locate a shell bed as I did on. You'd be a lot better served to go watch that video. That's not me just trying to get your click. I really am trying to help you better there. So, yeah.
Those are subscriber questions.
We got anything else we're gonna do tonight?
Man, I was thinking, I had kicking around an idea. Of course, you know me, I like ink.
Yeah.
I like tattoos. I got a lot of tattoos.
Yeah.
I actually got a largemouth bass tattoo.
He does
right
have a
here.
bass tattoo right on his back shoulder.
So, I was kind of thinking, we play a little game.
Okay.
All right. So,
I like games.
yeah. So, we're gonna do 3 separate tattoos. Okay.
3 separate tattoos.
Uh-huh.
I have 0 tattoos, folks. I'm probably the only United States Marine you'll ever meet that has 0 tattoos.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna pick 3 areas of your body. You got to get a tattoo.
You're gonna pick 3 areas of my body.
Yeah. So, well, mine too, obviously.
I can
So-
pick 3 areas of your body.
And you've got to get 3 lures tattooed on your body
Yeah.
in these 3 places.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna start with
Where are we going first?
probably the most natural place. We're gonna go with the forehead. So,
The most natural place.
so
The most natural place is gonna be the forehead.
yeah, for sure, dude. Because
What?
we're fishermen. We're wild.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah,
We're
so-
tatting something right here.
Right here on your forehead. I want to know what if you had to get a tattoo on your forehead. What lure would you tattoo on your forehead?
It has to be a lure,
Anything,
or can it be a fishing tattoo?
anything fishing tattoo? We'll call it that. You know what? Let's not go forehead. Let's go teardrop. If you had to get a teardrop tattoo, what fishing tattoo would you get teardropped?
Teardrop tattoo.
Um,
I'm gonna go with. You know how sometimes on the 6 Sense logo it just has the 6.
yeah,
I'm getting the 6, like a teardrop right there.
that's kind of disappointing.
Maybe with a little bit of water dripping off of it.
I mean, it's a great idea, but you know what I'm going with?
What are you doing?
I'm going with the outline of Lake Fork. Just
But
a little
whoa,
Lake
whoa,
Fork.
whoa, 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 whoa! I
Oh.
get to pick your part of your body.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just telling you what I would have got.
Okay, well I'm sorry to disappoint you.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, well,
Life's full of disappointments.
Alright.
Good. You pick an area of my body. Let's go.
I want the Mike Tyson's whole side of the face tat.
Oh, the tribal.
Like the whole side of the face. This area right here is getting covered. What are we doing?
Ooh, that's good. All right, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with a shaky head, just sitting right here on my jawline.
And like a crazy worm coming off it, like waving all around all different directions.
and like right up here because this will be the drop off.
So you've actually gotten tattoos. You're much better at this game than I am.
Yeah. So we'll do the shaky head and then
Yeah.
the jawline is the drop, you know. So it's sitting in the strike zone just.
Give me one right here. Give me one right here on the neck, right in here.
You want one right there on the neck?
Can I got an idea for one right here.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
right.
Take the neck. That's a good one.
Here's what I'm gonna get. It could be a jerkbait or it could be a Zara spook, either one. But I'm gonna have Zara's Spook tattooed across my neck this way, but it's going to be drawn in like the hooks have torn me open and I'm bleeding out of my neck. So it's like somebody cast it and caught me right here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like 2 of the hook points are stuck in my neck and bleeding.
And then when people ask you what it means, tell them.
And then the line from the deal is going to go all the way around and up by my ear.
There you go.
So like they're still pulling it.
And then when people ask you what it means, just be like, well, this reminds me of first guide trip.
Yeah, exactly. Nailed it.
Yeah.
Ding.
Ding. Just get you a bell tattoo right here.
Yeah.
Ding.
All right, so I got to pick a spot for you. Tramp stamp.
Tramp stamp, of course.
Tramp stamp. What are we doing on the tramp stamp?
Oh, that's a good one. I'm going to get an Alabama rig.
I don't even know why that's funny. It's just funny.
Get an Alabama rig tramp stamp.
It's just funny. I don't even know why it's funny. It's just funny. All right, where's the third place on my body?
The top of your hand. The one spot of your body you cannot ever cover up, pretty much.
The top of my hand?
Like the top of your hand. Boom.
I could go like the lame, easy way out. 3:15 is check-in time.
That's pretty good.
But that's not what I want to do. But that would be like a good. If like I lost a bet and I had to do that, I would just do that. And it'd be like real explainable. That's one time they used a permanent Sharpie on me instead of a regular one and messed me up. But no. Let's see. What would I do on the top of my hand? I want to think of something good. I want to think of something real good.
And you can pick your strong hand. You know, whichever one's your strong hand.
I don't know which one's my strong hand. I'm pretty ambidextrous on strength. They're both pretty fat, meaty paws.
Hook set, dog. You got to go with your hook set hand.
Oh, got it.
Got it. Go.
I'm going to do it on my left hand where I set the hook hard.
That's right.
And it's just going to say drop the hammer. And there's going to be a hammer right below it.
Nice.
Like a swinging hammer, right? Let's just say drop the hammer. So every time I do this, and the camera's on me, it says drop the hammer.
You should just have the hammer handle right here.
That's it. The top. Drop the hammer. That's it. You're way better at this than I am.
Tell you, man.
That's actually a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Drop the hammer.
See, mine will be on my right hand because I fish like that.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Then we'd be a good pair.
Good pair.
Last place for you to put a tattoo. You got one more coming? Have you done 2?
Yeah.
You got a third one coming. All right. Last place. Inside the palm of your hand.
Inside the palm.
Let's go. Inside the palm of your hand. Inside the palm of your hand.
Left or right palm, does it matter?
You get to pick. Don't go there.
Okay.
So many things that are so inappropriate right now.
So
it's fishing related, Chris.
So
fishing related.
I'm notorious for second guessing myself whether I put the plug in the boat or not.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get plug, the word plug, tattooed on the palm of my hand.
Don't forget the plug.
Don't forget the plug. Because I have done that plenty of times. Especially launching the boat by myself. Has anybody ever done that?
Somebody said hair for the palm of the head.
Hair.
God. Fishing related, folks. We're staying fishing related. We're staying fishing related.
Oh my gosh.
Too bad you didn't tell me to put one on my butt cheek. We could have put a chatterbait on the butt cheek.
Yeah.
You know, chatterbait never shuts up. It always keeps talking.
Yeah.
That way, if I put a chatterbait on my butt cheek, I'll be like, kind of tell my old lady to kiss my butt.
That's right. Hey, do you ever see the one? There's a guy. This picture's been roaming around the internet since the internet. He got a scale tattooed on his leg, so where he can
the ruler. Measuring board on his leg, and he can measure his fish on his kayak.
That's
in
right.
his kayak.
That's right.
Yeah, no, I did see that. That was that's a legit, really great.
That's gangster.
Tat.
That's gangster, dude.
That's commitment.
Mm-hmm.
That is commitment.
That's G.
That is commitment.
Got to be a G.
Man, I think we've done the damage tonight.
We've done some damage.
I think we've done the damage that we're going to do for the evening. What do you think?
I think so. What y'all think?
I think
we got some folks hanging out with us tonight. Nice little Sunday.
Get the letter B tattooed on each cheek. I don't even know what that.
Bob.
Oh God. Oh God. Why did I ask? Why did I ask that?
Or you get a W, and then when you're doing cartwheels, it says "Wow, Mom."
Oh my God. We have stooped to a new all-time low.
Yeah. He said I need to get cobra tattooed on my face.
You did have a cobra bass boat. We
I
can
did.
make an argument that's fishing related for you.
Yep, cobra.
Oh my
telling you,
goodness!
man.
The Wow Mom, I can't get over that one.
That's good, isn't it?
That's pretty legit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's real bad. That's real bad. With that, folks, I really don't think there's anywhere we can go from there. Not up or down. We're just done. So,
Just sitting in limbo.
hey, we appreciate y'all watching tonight. We had a great time hanging out with y'all. And, Chris, do that thing you do.
Hit that bell, put on post notifications, smash that like button, share this bad boy. We're trying to go viral.
You already know who it is.
You already know who it is.